Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 for selling on Etsy. In this video, I'll go over sales, customers, and reviews. Let's get started by going over your sales on Etsy. So, what to sell? Trends are important to pay attention to, but you don't want to just copy what everyone else is doing. The more original your ideas are, the more likely people will want to buy them because it's something one of a kind or an item customers cannot find anywhere else. Put yourself in your products. Also, don't be afraid to add trendy items or take a trend and add your own personal touch. It makes sense to use trending items because you'll show up more in search results and potentially get more sales. But again, simply copying what everybody else is doing might not lead to sales if established shops are already doing that, and if what you sell is competitive, like jewelry making, for example. There's a few things to stay away from when selling on Etsy. Something you don't want to do for sales is reselling. Reselling is a more controversial topic on Etsy. And in my opinion, buying items only to resell them with no alterations is unethical and dishonest. Also, it is against Etsy policy to claim something is handmade when it is not. I understand the desire to make money, but how would you feel if you spent $10 on something that turns out to be $2 on AliExpress or Amazon? It's happened to me several times, and it never feels good. This is also a sure way to get your shop reported and a nasty 1-star review when your customers find out. Another thing you'll want to stay away from is copyright images. I did go over this in my last Etsy video, but just a reminder that Etsy will close your shop, sometimes with no warning, if you use copyrighted images without consent. An example of this could be crocheting a Disney character. And this does include using key terms in your listing. Okay, moving on to your first sale on Etsy. For many people, this will take weeks or months to happen. It took a month and a half for my shop to get one sale, and another month to get my second sale. There are a few things you can do to help get more sales, like adjusting your prices. If you don't want to lower your prices, you can try running a sale. You might consider improving the quality of your items, so keep practicing and maybe invest in higher quality materials. You can add more items so that your shop has more variety. Another thing you can do is change up the SEO terms you use, so change the titles and tags of your listings. Improve your images. See my part 1 video for more tips on photos. The first few months of my shop, I changed things up continually, and over time I found what worked best for different items. Social media can play a big part in sales, though most of my sales come from Etsy search, and my social media game is pretty weak. If you can play the algorithm, social media can help you get more sales and get your shop more attention. Another way to increase sales is advertising. Though in my personal experience, ads are not worth it, and the times I have used ads, it did sort of feel like a waste of money. One thing I notice about ads on Etsy is that I'll see an ad for a product and the exact same listing from the same shop is directly below it, which seems like a waste of ad space. Also, it's one of those things where it really only works if you have more money. For my shop, I wasn't willing to spend enough for it to make a difference. When I did use ads, I think it only led to one sale. So also keep in mind that just because you run ads does not mean it will increase your sales. The pros of ads are that it will help your items get closer to the front page. This is helpful if what you sell is a competitive market, like jewelry, resin, or crochet items. Another thing about ads is if you take in a certain amount of money, Etsy makes you use Google Ads, and they take 12 to 15% of the sale. Next, I'll share some extra information on orders. Once you have dropped off your items at the post office or other shipping carrier, it's out of your hands. You cannot control delayed, lost, or stolen mail. Though make sure you complete your orders on time and keep in mind how you package your orders, like making sure your items are safe and secure. I always help my customers with lost packages or late mail, though many shop owners will say they don't do this and that it's not their responsibility. However, I do not expect the average customer to know how to report missing mail, and shop owners should know how to do this. Really, all you have to do is send them a link to the page where they can report lost mail. There was one time I told a customer to file a missing mail request themselves, and it did not go well. You will get a lot of messages about missing or late mail, especially around the holidays, so I recommend visiting your shipping carrier's website to get that information. Never refund an order for a delayed delivery, because chances are it will arrive within a week. I only do this if USPS confirms it's lost, and even then, the packages usually arrive. I think between my two shops, I've only had 3 packages that were actually lost. Also, if the customer needed the item by a certain date, they can return it for a refund. USPS Priority Mail all has insurance up to $100. File a claim if a package is lost or damaged. Also, new to Etsy is the Purchase Protection Policy. Starting in August 2022, Etsy will cover the cost of lost or damaged mail up to $250. So, when should you refund an item? If you know 100% the package is lost or was stolen, if a customer wants to return an item, or if a customer provides proof that the item arrived broken. People may ask you to cancel an order before it ships if they no longer want it, accidentally bought it, or if they put in the wrong shipping address. I'll cancel an order as long as it hasn't shipped, but this will vary based on what you make. Once an item ships, you won't be able to do anything unless the customer wants to pay to have it intercepted. How you decide on your canceling policy will depend on what you make. Is it personalized? Is it made to order? Does it take days or weeks to create? So make sure your shop policies are updated and accurate. Shops have a responsibility to make sure the information on their page is accurate. Customers also have a responsibility to understand this information before making a purchase. Let's face it, and not all people are rays of sunshine. You may come across a person who is so demanding and rude that you won't want to work with them again. You can cancel an order if you refuse to sell an item to someone. Just know that customers can leave a review up to 48 hours after an order is canceled. Though I don't know why someone would want to review an item they did not end up buying. Sadly, there is little support from Etsy when it comes to harassment from customers. You can block a person, but it doesn't prevent them from seeing your shop or placing orders. Just know that you have a right to refuse an order and to not work with someone, as long as you cancel and refund any orders they place. Also know that if a customer is harassing you or threatens to leave a bad review in exchange for something, which is extortion, then you need to report them to Etsy. Now I'm going to move on to customers and reviews. A part of working with customers is communication. Communication is very important and really reflects on your shop. When messaging your customers, you want to be nice and helpful. People will likely message you about an item or their package once it's shipped. so know about your materials and how to track your packages. I don't always believe the saying, "the customer is always right." If someone is lying, demanding, or cruel, then I am not going to bend over backwards for them. However, if someone has an issue with their order, whether they are mad or not, it is up to you to help them. Be professional and understanding. Sometimes mistakes happen, and it's important to learn from these mistakes so you can improve your shop. Also keep in mind that Etsy expects shop owners to respond to messages within 24 hours, but this isn't realistic for everyone. You may have another job or not want to work on weekends. You can always set up auto replies for messages. Customers can leave reviews for your items 100 days after the expected delivery date. Here's a few things you might run into with reviews. Something you'll see are positive 4-star reviews, and you'll wonder why a customer says an item is perfect but doesn't give 5 stars. This could happen for several reasons. Sometimes people just hit the wrong star when reviewing. Other times, though, there are people who have very high standards. Some people don't give a 5-star review regardless of item quality or how pleased they are, and others may not want to say what the problem was. Which, yes, this can be annoying, especially if you aim to be a star seller. Just do your best and remember, we cannot control other people's opinions. It's not easy to see a customer upset in a review. People might say something arrived broken or the item isn't as described. In these cases, I would offer a refund if they return the package or provide photos of a broken item. If you make personalized items, it gets more complicated. Make sure your policies are updated to say whether or not personalized items can be returned. To avoid negative reviews, make sure your listing is accurate. Use good quality photos, practice making what you sell, and package your items well for shipment. Most people's impression of a product is through the photos. We see the image, assume it is what we want, and then quickly buy it. I highly recommend putting important information in the photos, like the size, or adding a photo that says to view the description for more information. I always joke that no matter what you sell or what information you have, there will be at least one person that says, "Smaller than I thought, but it's fine." If you sell small or dainty items, I highly recommend taking a photo next to a ruler or common items like coins, so customers can really see what the size is. Should you message someone about a review? You can certainly do this, especially if the review is negative or incorrect. For example, I had someone leave a 1-star review saying I canceled an order even though it was shipped and delivered. I did contact this customer, and it was a review that Etsy was able to remove. I have never asked someone to change a review. I believe people have a right to their opinion and can choose whether or not they like my products. Even if there is a problem that you correct, they still can review their experience with your shop. And just because you are polite and fix a problem doesn't mean you're entitled to a higher review. Remember, it is all a learning process. But just because I don't do it doesn't mean you can't. In some cases, there could be a simple error or miscommunication. You can see if they are willing to change their review. Again, I have never done this, but that doesn't mean you can't. Star Seller is impacted by customer service and reviews. It is fairly new to Etsy and still has its bugs. There are a lot of qualifications to be a star seller, like 10 orders and $300 in sales during the 3-month review cycles. Then after that, you must respond to messages within 24 hours and ship orders on time 95% of the time. And then you also have to have an average shop rating of 4.8 or more. In my experience, a star seller can be glitchy and suspicious. My advice, don't get hung up on star seller if you're doing the best you can. That concludes this video for selling on Etsy. I hope I was able to provide some tips on how to run your shop. Overall, I say, keep trying new things if you're struggling to get sales. Be kind to customers. Don't stress over what you cannot control, and report any harassment to Etsy. You can always ask questions or visit Etsy community for more help. Thanks for watching, and check out my next Etsy video on SEO and social media.